Welcome! In this module, we're going to make a dive into the 4 sectors of business activity. So business activities, they take place in a number of different areas, whether it's in the local community, in a country, or even within the global community. And so traditionally, economists have grouped business activities into 4 different sectors. The first 2 sectors, the primary and secondary sector, are concerned with the extraction and production of goods, things that are tangible. The tertiary and quaternary sectors are concerned with providing some sort of service, with the quaternary sector being a subgroup of the tertiary sector, and we'll elaborate on what that means in a bit. In the primary sector, all raw materials are extracted in this sector. This ranges from things such as mining, fishing, farming, hunting, all the way to extractions. And now today, because of the scarce nature of many resources in the primary sector, activities in the primary sector are closely monitored because we need to consider things such as protecting the environment. And these are initiatives by the government. In the secondary sector, we have the manufacturing process. Think of factories. In this sector, you have raw materials that are processed into some kind of consumer good. Finished goods that are sold on the market, such as handbags or cars, or even packaged foods. In the tertiary sector, we have the provision of services, and these services can range from financial to leisure to healthcare to education to transport all the way to security and many other services. So there is no definitive list. And as you'll notice, the manufacturing has shifted towards developing countries in the recent centuries. So you'll start to notice that the tertiary sector has started to become increasingly important in developed countries. And these services include services such as retail and banking services. In the quaternary sector, we provide services that are specifically focused on the production or the providing of knowledge. For example, e-services involving IT or the media or web-based services are often considered to be in the quaternary sector. And these are bodies or businesses that focus on providing us with knowledge, and they make a profit that way. So we say these sectors are typically linked in what we call a production chain, which is talking about the steps through the different sectors that a raw material must take in order to be converted into a consumer good that is then marketed and sold. And so if we take the classic example of an automobile, for example, if we take the example of an automobile or a car, we start with the extraction of many types of raw materials such as metals, rubbers, materials to make glass, and we process it into these materials in the secondary factor, into what we call automobile parts, such as the car door or the car window. The automobile is then further used in an assembly line in a factory to make the automobile or the car, and that is still in the secondary sector of activity. The car is then shipped to a car dealership, which then sells the car to a customer or consumer, and this retail service is part of the tertiary sector. On top of that, car dealers also often provide after-sale services such as oil changes or repairs, and these also operate in the tertiary sector. Now, this is not necessarily sequential, but before buying a car, a customer will usually read up on it in a magazine or an online report about the car's features and its service records, things along those lines. And these are all information provided in the quaternary sector. Now, sometimes this information is provided for free by the government, but in other cases, this information is locked behind a paywall by for-profit companies that collect information and sell the information. And this type of business is in the quaternary sector. Classic examples of the quaternary sector are big tech companies that often collect information from the devices of its customers that are using their products and selling that information to other businesses that may be interested in you, such as businesses that want to do targeted advertising on you. The selling of information is, in fact, how most big tech companies around the world generate their profits. There's a common misconception that it's the selling of the product or the device that generates income for these companies. But the reality is that these corporations make most of their money from selling information to other businesses. So on the left here, you'll see the production chain from primary to secondary to tertiary and finally quaternary sectors. On the right here, we have this idea of integration. And this is because as the business grows, they often want to expand their operations to become larger and more successful businesses. And sometimes they engage in what we call horizontal growth, where businesses acquire or merge with another business that is involved in the same activity. For example, when one chain of a grocery store purchases and acquires another chain of grocery stores. At other times, businesses want to grow vertically by acquiring another business that is either earlier in the production chain, such as a business in the secondary sector purchasing a business in the primary sector, or later in the production chain, such as a business in the secondary sector purchasing a business in the tertiary sector. And we call the first one backwards vertical integration, such as when a car manufacturing company purchases a raw materials extraction company or a mining company, so that they have complete control over the metals that they are using to build their cars. The second one we call forward vertical integration, such as when a car manufacturing company purchases a car dealership so that they have complete control over how their cars are being sold to their customers. Now, the advantages of horizontal and vertical integration are typically things such as ensuring a reliable supply, having complete control over the whole production process, or what we call increasing market power, gaining power in terms of how much a business controls the industry. In the next module, we're going to look at changes in sectoral activity, and this concludes this module. See you then.